Hello, welcome to another short video on the Absolute Game and Nerds podcast. I was tagged by Mike from Lunch Money Comics, JP as well. He'll make his, but to make a video of our top 10 Bronze Age comics. I believe the challenge was started first by Allen, the Comic Collector Geek. Obviously, he's got a great Golden Age collection that we've seen on YouTube, so go check him out. I'll put links for both those guys, both Alan and Mike from Lunch Money down in the description. So be sure to give them a follow as well. But yeah, let's get into it. So you see me do top 10 lists or top lists in general. Obviously, I like to have a couple honorable mentions and ties. So there is a few more than 10 books, we'll say. I think the other thing you guys know is my big jam is first appearances. So the list primarily is built of just first appearances. However, there are a couple of exceptions. But otherwise, let's get into it. So as I said, I'm going to start with two honorable mentions. They're both just epic covers in my opinion, but they didn't make my top 10. And the first being Superman 233. In my opinion, this is the best Superman book outside the Golden Age, just because of this classic Neil Adams cover. I think it's awesome. It's an homage, of course, to Superman 9, which is my favorite of the yellow Golden Age comic books, obviously with the exception of Superman 1, but 9, where he's breaking the chains, is my favorite. So Superman 233, not an expensive book, but a great one. I've seen a lot of great deals. JP actually just got one as well, so be on the lookout for it if it's something you like. Next one, right, again, is Batman 251. Again, another classic Neil Adams cover. Kind of similar vein as what I said with that Superman book. In my opinion, this is the best Joker key outside the Golden Age, right? This is when the Joker kind of changes from a more comical villain to a more serious homicidal maniac villain. So great storyline. Obviously an epic cover by Neil Adams. Just one of the best. All right. So now we'll move on to our top 10. However, my number 10 spot is a tie. And these books go hand in hand, which is why I let them tie. But they are the first appearances of both Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Right. So Luke Cage, it is obviously Luke Cage, Hero for Hire, number 1. Cool thing about this book, this is the first time a Black character gets his own main title. So obviously there were like Black Panther became before Luke Cage, but Black Panther didn't have his own title until after. So this is the first solo main title for a Black character. Pretty cool there. And then obviously the team up guy that he goes with often is Iron Fist. His first appearance is in Marvel Premiere 15. So cool books there. All right. Everything else now is 9 down to 1. So starting it back up regularly. Number 9, ASM 194. First appearance of course, the Black Cat. As you can see, mine's got that kind of fading at the top there in that strip. Would love to upgrade at some point, but this is not a huge priority, and you see this book often, so I'm not too concerned about getting it, but I do love that I have it, and I think it's a great book. So another big ASM key, in my opinion, that isn't crazy dollars. So one that you can look out for if you're looking for ASM keys. Next one up. So this is the only other one on the list that isn't a major first appearance, but it is, in my opinion, one of the greatest covers of all time, and probably, well, actually, it's not, because my number 1 will be the top one, but the second best cover, we'll say, of the Bronze Age, and it is Batman 227. This, of course, again, another Neil Adams book, Neil Adams cover. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Neil Adams. This, of course, is the homage to Detective Comics 31. Which is, I think I had it in my list of best covers. It's like my number 2 favorite cover of all time. It's in the top 3, we'll say, for sure. But this one is an awesome homage to it. So yeah. All right, back to the first appearances. So that was number 9. This is going to be number 8. You guys saw this recently because I just got it. And it is Tomb of Dracula 10, the first appearance, of course, of Blade. Yeah. You guys heard my story. I was able to score this for $40. And he sold it that cheap because the cover is detached. And I said, for $40, I don't give a crap, because in the bag, in a Mylar and in a slab, which I don't think I'll get this graded. Who's going to tell? So I'll take that all day, every day. I am on the hunt for Tomb of Dracula 1, First Appearance of Dracula. But there is a price I have in mind. I've found some copies, but they're kind of not in that budget that I want set for it. But I am on the lookout for it. We got our first slab now, and it is Iron Fist again, Iron Fist 14. This is, of course, is the first appearance of, where am I? Sabretooth. Very underrated in terms of when it comes to the big bronze books, in my opinion. I think Sabretooth's a great villain. Obviously, it's Wolverine's arch nemesis. In terms of 1v1, it's got to be in the top 3 greatest 1v1s in Marvel, right? You have this, the Hulk versus Thing, Wolverine's Sabretooth, obviously. Who else would be in there? Can't think right now, but yeah, very cool book. Again, this is also not one, you can get a great price for a, I got a 6.5. I'm totally happy with that. Love it. All right. Next one up, Iron Man 55. So this is the first appearance of several characters, right? It is Mentor, Drax the Destroyer, of course, from Guardians, Star Fox, Kronos, the Blood Brothers, and the main one, the big one, the one that's not on the cover, is, of course, Thanos. I love Thanos, top 3 villain in Marvel, in my opinion, and personally, one of my top 3 villains. So was pumped to get this one. This was actually the first comic that I ever traded for in terms of a big trade. I've obviously traded a bunch since then. But yeah, this was a cool one. We'll always love to have the first Thanos. Moving on. Next up, Marvel Spotlight 5. First appearance of the Ghost Rider. Right. Again, mine is a 2.5. I think it looks much better than a 2.5. Why is it a 2.5? Because right down here on the cover, someone took a pair of scissors and snipped it. Because of that, it got the much lower grade. When you look at the grader comments, that's the main note. Again, kind of similar to that detached cover on Tomb of Dracula 10. In the slab, you can't tell unless I really look up close. And I'm like, oh, there it is. So I'm happy. Again, I'm all about presentation. If it presents well, I don't really care about the grade number. I'm happy to take the discounted grade for a just as good presenting. Like, to me, this looks like a 5. So I'm happy with this. Will I upgrade it? Potentially one day. Why not? I mean, if that's how things goes. But as of right now, I am more than happy with this being my MS5. All right, moving on from there. Next up, bam. Amazing Spider-Man 129, the first appearance of Frank Castle, the Punisher, and also the first appearance of the Jackal. Of course, love these yellow covers. I said that with Superman. The same goes with Spider-Man's got some great ones. This is probably the best yellow Spider-Man cover. If I'm thinking of them all right. The other one I think of often is 121, The Death of Gwen Stacy. This one's a cooler cover for sure. Again, mine obviously 6.5. Perfect grade range for me. Take it all day. Love the book. Next up, number 2, Giant Size X-Men. Number 1, first appearance of the new team, obviously. But Colossus, Storm, Nightcrawler, and Thunderbird. Thunderbird obviously then dies in 94, I think. I can't remember exactly. And then second full appearance. I consider second full appearance of Wolverine. Just an iconic. This is probably the second best X-Men key there is. Obviously, X-Men 1 being the top one. I love this book. We'll always have a copy of this in my collection. This is a lower grade one. I think hopefully I would shoot for hopefully this would be in the 3.0 range. Eventually I will grade it, right? And then obviously this is one, when the times come to upgrade, this is one I could consider upgrading. But otherwise, perfectly happy with that copy. And last but not least, I'm sure you guessed it, number 1, Hulk 181. I've said this before. This is up there as the top cover for me, right? There's Tech 31, as I was talking about earlier, and then there's Silver Surfer 4. It's just epic. Like, what better? And yes, I consider 181 as the true first appearance, 180 as the cameo. And regardless of that, 181 is obviously going to be the money book because of this cover is so dope. Right. So 5.5. When I got this, I thought I was honestly going to get something that was going to be more in the 3.0 to 4.0 range, but the way the market went, I was able to get a 5.5. And also something that even what the value I had on this when I got it, it's even lower now. So, it's available. There's obviously a lot of these out there, but anyone that's a big comic book collector, this is kind of one of those must-have keys. But yeah, that is my list for top 10 books of the Bronze Age. Let me know what you think. Let me know what's on your list. I have to tag 3 other people. Let's see who hasn't been tagged. I'm going to tag Joseph from Wolverine's Comics. I know you got a bunch of Bronze Age keys. I'm going to tag, who is that other one I was going to tag? Hold on, my notes here real quick. Chris from Cheddar Comics. I'm going to tag you. And I'm going to tag Dan from Dan's X-Men Comics. He's got those big X-Men books. He's got a great Bronze Age collection. And I'll throw Aaron from A1's Comics. He's got a bunch of cool X-Men books. I know a few of those guys don't have YouTube channels, but maybe this is get them to jump on. But yeah, I'll tag all those guys down below. Please, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'd love to hear what you think and what you got in your top 10. And if you're not tagged, make one anyways, right? These are my favorite videos on YouTube. So if you make one, I will probably definitely watch it. All right. That is all I got. Everyone have a great day. Peace out.